me, but apparently it wasn't.
Nah, it's on me. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I am your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Saturday, ready to do some feedback. We figured might as well do this feedback show because y'all have been leaving feedback.
Yes, y'all have.
It'll just make it twice as much work when we do a feedback show a couple weeks from now. But y'all figure it out. You know how to leave feedback. It's all in the show notes. The official weapon of the show is
the taser.
An unofficial sport.
What about?
And bullet ball extreme. First people want to shout out to people that gave us money.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Open, Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Guy Tips.
That's right. News, Sunday, new money. Let's talk about it. Celeste VB with the recurring donation. Adam S. Mariano with that recurring donation. Tyrone. Dorothea S. Jason F. Michael Irvin, the playmaker. Waste Bees Basura. Jasmine A. Deborah O. Michael F. Allison H. Mary H. Stefan H. You know the H's love to come in a group like a family. Brian B. Jeff M. Corey B. Jonathan H. Showing up a little late from the other H's is fine. J. Full. Mako H. Oh, they come. The H delegation is strong.
Right, ain't they though?
Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. Early Daisy Photography. Michael W. Nicole F. Asia D. Chriselle B. Annie P. Annie, are you okay? I hope so. Tom W. Dana R. Jane M. Laura E. Noel W. Nicholas Z. Bomani Jones. Pete B. And Sonia B. That's everybody. Lots of people. Thank you for the money. Okay. We love to spend it. All right, let me stop it before Karen gets carried away with the Holy Spirit again.
Why I got to be me?
You know how she like to lay down in the aisles and get all dramatic every week.
Why I got to be me?
That's what we say every week. Why it's always her?
Why, Lord? Why?
All right. So the last time we did a feedback show was the 28th. No, it's longer than that. It was the 20th. So let me go check to see if we got any reviews since the 20th. Okay, we got one new review from Cooler Be Me Than You. All right. They said 5 stars. Great show. I love how informative and also funny when it is. This how it is. Oh, I think it means this show is. A little typo. Rod and Karen are great hosts and have introduced me to other shows and people. The games on the show are great to play along and laugh.
Yay!
Thank you. And I don't know the gender of this person. I didn't mean he. It's they. But yeah, thank you for the 5-star review. We appreciate y'all. Okay. We continue to leave them. All right, we like those.
We do.
It's really that simple. I don't even know what else to add to that segment. Let's get into the actual comments on our website. All right. First episode was 2716, original flavor McKnights. We had 2 comments from Appia. White women pretending to be black. In our society, women are more skilled with makeup and hairstyling, so it's they know better how to change their appearance in a convincing way. I promise I never did it and have no desire to. Well, that's what a white woman who's pretending to be black would say out here. So, nice try, buddy. You have to wake up pretty early in the morning
to get one up on you.
get one over on me. That's probably what Rachel Dollar was at. And I promise I never did have no desire to, but would at least know what product to use to manage some success. Still, I will not even give specific examples for products here to not give white women ideas. Well, thank you.
We appreciate that.
There might be some white women listening to our show right now that just keep that in the back pocket. Like, well, if this white thing don't work out, I'll just switch over races. Become a very light-skinned black woman and rise to the top of academia.
Be on the board of the NAACP. See how that works out for me.
Who knows if these kind of women visit this page as part of their act? I'm suspicious. They probably, listen.
Yeah, they be trying to get scoops from everywhere now.
They got to study the recipes. All right, we got the recipes over here in blackness.
We be sharing them all online for everybody to see.
They got to imitate somebody. It's going to be some professor sounding like Karen somewhere, leading the head of the diversity department.
I don't know. They get this country twang. They try.
No, they're going to be leading the diversity department over at some prestigious university. I heard Karen say Timbuktu in the sense of something far away in this episode. It's the same expression that is used in Germany. Wonder how this got so popular that it's worldwide.
Well, I don't know. I got it from my mom and them. Whenever they talk about something far away, that's what they call it. They call it Timbuktu or Bumblefuck nowhere or in the middle of Bumblefuck. Like that's the term they use for something far away and they don't know where it is.
Yeah, I know why. White supremacy. All right. Pretty sure that's how.
It's a city somewhere called Timbuktu. Going, why is everybody showing up here?
I think white people thought it was far. They think it's a exoticized location, and then it's it caught on because they were saying it. That's my guess. Let's see. We got comments on this episode on the YouTubes. Let me see. One comment. Ramsey DPH Dunn says 5 stars because I love you both. Oh, thank you. We appreciate them 5 stars. Then on Spotify for podcasters, we have comments, and of course we have the poll. The poll is: do you play video games? Yes or no? 64% of our audience plays video games.
Mm-hmm. I do. I love video games.
35% does not.
And also in that 35%, I wonder how many of them play video games, but they don't consider what they play a video game, because mobile apps are video games, and a lot of people play mobile apps. But if you ask them, they will quote unquote claim that they're not a gamer.
Mm.
But you spent 4,500 hours and $100 on this game through your mobile app. But because it's not a console like a PlayStation, Xbox, a Switch, if you ask them, a lot of people will flat up and down tell you that they're not a gamer.
Mm.
When in reality, that number, I personally think that number is a bit higher, but a lot of people are in denial, or they don't, in my opinion, don't understand what the concept of a gamer is. Just because it doesn't have a control, it's still a game that you play, so you are a quote unquote gamer. If you spent hours in something, you're a gamer.
I agree. The same poll on Spotify podcast, 58% and 42%. But still pretty high percentage. Taking some time off this week was the Q&A. Raphael says there were no sales for the cruise to Africa as I was celebrating my birthday in the multiverse. I'm back with repurposed sales that include guaranteed no toe suckers on board Super African Cruise.
No, thank you.
Jane says, enjoy your relaxing time off, Karen and Rod. Rest up. We will be patiently waiting on your turn. Relax, relate, release. Enjoy your time off. I miss you, but it's well deserved. Get your person time on. Thank you. Thank you. And we did take a few days off. I don't remember how many, but yeah, I guess this was since the 20th, and we only did 2 episodes since then, and it's the 3rd of the next month. So I don't know. It took a bunch of days off, but we didn't go anywhere or do anything.
It was needed though. I was just saying, like, it was really needed. I enjoyed just getting off. And speaking of video games, I actually got to play more video games than I normally get to do, because normally we work all day, we do the show, and then I'm tired. It's time to go to bed. I watch basketball. I fall asleep and with the 11 o'clock because it's to 2 a.m. and I don't get to play my games till like the weekend. So it was cool getting off early and being able to play for a few hours.
Yeah. And basketball is not till 2 a.m., but I hear what you're saying. It do go late.
It do go late. It feel like that to me.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next episode. It is Black Dolphins, episode 2717. We got 7 comments on this one. Appia says, I'm glad you took some time off, not because I want less shows, but because I want you to be healthy. That's more important. Happy you are back. And then she said, that Sean King has some nerve, that's for sure. Yeah, and some nerve condition, according to him. Right. Ernest.com says, people always ask why Pastor got to be in the doctor office throwing up peace signs. I say, don't ask, no questions. Don't ask, just give. Resident Genius says 5 stars. I was 5011 hot about the response from the restaurant and the racist manager. P.S. Earth and most animals are tired of humans and their shenanigans. I don't think it's really most animals, or I'll say this: them motherfucking black dolphins hit different. That's all. Cause like I feel like if bears was fed up with our shit, the way black dolphins is fed up with our shit,
we be through.
They just be running up on us in our houses and shit.
Yeah, them bitches is land sharks. They like, I want this house. Fuck that. And they just would go through your wall and your drywall and not give a fuck. Like, and fuck your cars up and shit like that. Like, that's the creature, particularly a bear, is a creature you don't want on to get on this bad side.
SD Star says white evangelicals like the guy harassing Target employees want to be persecuted to show off their faith. I'm sure that guy could not wait to be beat up by loss prevention. He probably lives in a fantasy world where he is oppressed by an all-powerful liberal government and liberal corporations. It comes from watching too many terrible Left Behind style movies. Evangelicals don't seem to realize that fellow right-wing religious kooks have a lock on power in the Supreme Court, half of Congress, and most of the state legislatures. Yeah, and they got all the guns.
It's like you winning. The fuck? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just they are the most egregious violation of the whole, when people talk about folks wanting to be victims, claiming to be victims when they're not and stuff. That is the biggest example of it. Is that like there? Like I know there's liberal examples of it. I know there's somebody's in a marginalized group, they do something terrible to people, and then they throw up their marginalization. It's like, look at me, I'm the real victim here. I know that, and that is annoying and all this shit, but that shit is not nearly as dangerous as this shit that these like Christians do in America, where they pretend to be persecuted as they run shit and as they persecute other people. They a lot of this anti-LGBTQ movement, the anti-trans bills, is even abortion, taking away the rights of people to have abortion. All that shit is behind a veneer of Christian victimhood, of look what they're doing to us, and it's and you're right. These kind of people, that's what I'm trying to explain about the Target situation, is that it's not as simple as call the cops and then it's just over, or whatever. Like, these people are fucking dangerous. To me, this is terrorism.
Right.
I know he didn't actually hurt anybody physically in that, but this type of behavior, because he's just one person, but other people coming in supposedly tearing up the pride section of stores. If you see the kind of stuff they're doing online, what they're spreading in their silos, it's very dangerous, inflammatory rhetoric that is destined to hurt people, and it already is hurting people, but it's going to get worse the way shit is going. And I don't blame any company for de-escalating the physical confrontation aspects, because there isn't a pretty solution. And everybody that shitted on them about the fact that they were like, let's dial it back, would 1,000,000% blame that organization if something happened to their employees based on this. They will. Right. I don't give a fuck who they are. They wouldn't say, I don't care that those people got killed at Target. It was the right thing to do. No, they would be like, Target knew that these people were out here. They were running. Why didn't they just take some of the shit down so they wouldn't get nobody killed? That's what they're gonna do.
Right. Then they do it and they complain about that. So it's a lose-lose.
Because we live in a country where the guns are already out. That like this, just we're not living in a fair, equitable society where we're having a debate of ideas in the public forum. That's not what's happening in America. We're not really you're having a debate at gunpoint.
Right.
Is what we're having. And all of us that exercise our fucking freedom to just bodily autonomy and stuff, we're risking our lives every day. We live in a country where we think it's okay that we all can just get killed in the public at any fucking time because guns are that goddamn important to our country. That's where we're living. So, I think these people in that persecution complex is dangerous. Classic R&B Lover says, hello, Ryder. In response to your story about the woman who had the word nigger written on her receipt, nigger chick. Yes, Karen is 100% correct that racism runs amok up south. I have lived in New York all my life, and I know this to be true. As for the restaurant in question, I'm not surprised that it is located in Pennsylvania, which until recently, the last 5 to 10 years, was the state with the most white supremacist groups in the nation. Yeah, I mean, listen, Karen's gonna point that out every time, just about that racism comes up somewhere not down the south. But I think a lot of black people that live not in the south, they know and deal with racism all the time. It's like, I don't know if it just slips their mind or they just whatever, but like you can hear like someone from New York be like, I wouldn't go down there, and it's always like, but come on, man. Like you deal with racism too, in whatever way it is.
It might not be the same.
So don't,
right. And I think that's the thing that irritates me. A lot of people that live outside of the South act like they racism is motherfucking different. Bitch, it ain't.
Yeah, and like I said, it might be different, but it's racism is my point.
Right.
Like, I think it could be different in the places that you go and experience. Like we live in Charlotte, we don't have a Chinatown. You know what I'm saying? So like we don't have certain things that that other countries, other cities might have. That's not like, but the racism still exists. It's just different.
Right, and that's my thing when I say I'm talking about like racism in general, and I think that's the thing that bothers me because when they make these sweeping statements, I'm like, well, you deal with it too. It ain't just down here. So, and I guess for me, just as somebody who lives down here, loves being down here, wouldn't want to actually live anywhere else. It's very frustrating when you hear people outside of this place, and not all, but a lot of these people that make these comments have never brought their asses down to the motherfucking South. But yet you got these sweeping statements about a place you've never goddamn been before.
Heavyweight says, in regards to the Target story, I'm licensed security in the state of Texas. Never been assigned to retail, but you were absolutely right. Thank you. I don't even need to read the rest of this. Thank you. Okay, because I know some people probably was listening, shaking their heads, and I'm like, Rod is wrong this time. But Heavyweight says, I'm absolutely right, everybody. You can call the cops and they'll show up eventually, but they'll only escort the person off the premises. They only get hit with trespassing if they come back again after that. And that Sean King post definitely gave Scammer Sob Story vibes. Yeah, that's a good name for him. Scammer Sob Stories. That is absolutely. I mean, I don't know, man. Safe space, permission to speak. I know we're not behind a paywall, but sometimes it really is that simple where it's like, fam, all it seems that you do is ask for money from other people, especially the people that cry like systemic shit, but then like, they're always in your pocket, but it's like, you're wrong, your classes, you're this, you're that. And so it's like, you give money to this shit and then eventually you look up and it's like, bro, this not even what you said it was no more. Like this started with, we gonna help black kids adopt puppies or some shit. And now we're down to, guys, I have a mysterious condition and this might be my 17th time asking you for money, but I need it again. It's like, dog, this is like how I get a text from like a politician asking for money for like, at some point as a human being, you exhaust my goodwill. It's just a human thing. I don't think human beings are set up to be altruistic all the time for everybody, all the time, every ask. We can't meet every ask. And at some point, people start looking at who's asking and how much they asking. And yeah, it do be a little like, what's happening here? Like, what are these decisions that are being made? Why are you're spending thousands of dollars on a fucking dog and then turning around and asking me for money for your health insurance? Like, the priorities seem fucked up on your side, not mine.
Right. And it's also one of those things where because it's the internet, you're making the internet problems, and the internet is like, hey dog, like you asked last week and you're asking again. So now the internet has opinions because you actually made it the internet's problems by inviting it and putting it on the internet. So the internet is like, hey, you do this, or I see you bought this, or I see you got that, but then you got your own handout, like this doesn't make sense and your bills aren't being paid. And then everybody has their opinions because it's the internet. So you can't be mad at the internet being the internet and having these opinions just like people would in real life.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting that I don't know. It's just interesting to see how people are um getting tired of Sean King shit, but I think people are kind of getting tired of this shit in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fam, you're gonna have to find some other method of getting money than just asking crowdfunding me all the time. Like,
yeah, and people don't mind, but like you say, all the time.
Because it's not just that, because people go through shit too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to shit on the whole thing because I think people, you get in a situation you might need help. I think that's totally reasonable. I just think there's some people that abuse this shit and you don't have like a actual, there's not a metric for it. It's just a feeling of, dog, Sean King, this the 90th time. I don't know what to tell you, but there's never going to be a cause that I will give you money for at this point, period. Because you're down to just ridiculous shit and it just feels like you're taking advantage of either kind-hearted or misled people.
Yeah, you brought a good point. It's not the fact that people are asking. A lot of times, like you said, it's who that matters more than anything else.
Yeah, it's just Hugh, how many times? It just adds up, you know? So I think people, Sean King's a safe example where you can say it and nobody's going to really push back on you.
Correct.
But I'm saying at this point, we're surrounded by this shit and people just are tired. And people are scrutinizing it because people are scrutinizing it because it is important that you are doing what you say to people. Like, I understand that there's a school of thought that's like, listen, you give them the money, it's just well, I don't know, man. I think, to me, I do have some scruples about it. And if you say you do something for a cause and you don't end up doing that, I don't fuck with you anymore. Period. You see what I'm saying? So I don't like that. That is not cool to me to be like, well, yeah, they said they were raising the money for this, but then they bought a big screen TV and just don't worry about it. It's not your business. Nigga, you made it my business when you accepted my money. Don't ask then. You know, like that is lying. That is unscrupulous. I think that is valid to bring up. And so I think Sean King's an example. You can say, yeah, we all agree. But I think there's hundreds of examples like this shit every day and people getting sick of it.
Yeah, there's also one of those things where nigga just say I want a TV, and if I give it to you and I see the TV, I know that that's where my money's going to.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right. If you can't be honest about it, then nobody want to hear the shit anyway. Anyway, he should have just DM'd people individually, asked for $40. Because they're gonna cut off my lights and the pictures. Come on, bro. He took that right out of Tinder Swindler. They got Peter. That's what he said. All right. The comments on the YouTube. Let's see if we had any. Oh, we did have a few. Ramsey D. PH Dunn says, Dracarys to that restaurant and those men/owner. Tiffany says, laugh my ass off at Rod's extreme side-eye during the Aviation Inn restaurant story. Bruh, that was all of us. And Karen, you got it right. And I bet Jimmy will be back tomorrow, too. I want to say I can't believe they tried to make themselves the victims, but that's really how it is, Dracarys. And Karen, you're absolutely right. This shit happens up north as well. I'm from the Midwest, family from New York and Pennsylvania. It may appear in different forms, but it's everywhere, not just down south. Shannon says, I'm so glad y'all are taking time to yourselves. I miss the shows, but you are both such hard working and wonderful people. You deserve a break. Enjoy your time together. Love y'all. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
And the poll was, what? Fuck. I fucked up the poll on the website. It was, do you like our plugin, which is not what I meant to put. That's
what did you meant to put?
Let's see if I got it right on Spotify. Yeah, did Target mess up by taking some LGBTQ items out of the stores? Yes or no? 74% of people said, yeah, they messed up. They shouldn't have took them out. 26% say no.
Right, and out of that percentage, if somebody was to come in there and shoot up their employees because of with this same percentage of people flip and be like, "What are y'all doing? Why didn't y'all protect y'all employees?"
I'm honestly, I mean, listen, I'm willing to be in the group of people that's just having an unpopular opinion in this 26%, but I explained myself as best I could in that piece, that segment, but I honestly think these people are completely fucking wrong. Like I can't think of anything more dangerous than, like, as a corporation trying to stand up to a bunch of people who have been empowered in this country to be violent terrorists. I really, like, I don't know. It's just and maybe I'm just that disconnected from whatever everybody else's experience, but to my mind, it feels like these people are living in theory, and it's kind of like the whole prison abolition thing, where, like, I can be a prison abolitionist on Twitter because none of that shit is real to me. But if someone actually ran up in my house and beat the shit out of me, I would want that person in a place that they cannot harm me anymore.
Right.
And that place is probably going to look a lot like a jail cell. And in that time, it does become real, and I actually have to have a real solution, and I'm not just signaling anymore. So that's what I think about, is the reality of what's happening in Target. It seems far away because we're watching it through our phones and video screens.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if you were in a Target and some motherfucker, like, ran up in there and start fucking shit up, I don't think you would just be like, we standing up, we like, or put it this way, I would hate for something to happen and then people be like, oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, these motherfuckers are nuts,
Yes, and also they're in the country that empowers these people. It would be different if the laws empowered them. I could see people going, well, fuck them, because the laws are literally not on their side, but the laws are on their side. So since the laws are on their side, you have to act accordingly. And
it's not even that the laws are on their side. It's just they don't care that they're breaking the law. And we're not a serious country about preventing this shit. Like, if I think in order for Target to truly, like, quash this, it's not even just taking down the items, because it would be like you have to hire your own privatized armed security force just on some wish a motherfucker would shit. That's the only way to stop. These people are fucking crazy. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it doesn't come to pass, but these people are going to eventually end up hurting somebody
because it escalates,
because they're already hurting people in general.
Mm-hmm.
But they, like, this latest wave of this movement is such a, like, hyperbolic fear mongering, like, we got to get the gay shit. And yeah, it's different to me than just a, it's different to me than just a, we're having a public intellectual debate. That being said, like, look, man, if people think, I don't know if people are just saying, I don't care about these employees and stuff, fuck them if they get killed, or they just going, these people ain't gonna do shit. I do wonder which one it is, but this shit is absolute, to me, it's not a game. I think they will kill somebody over this stuff.
I do too. I think it's escalation. The reason why I said the laws is on their side, because people, like you say, the public doesn't have it in them to pass laws to empower the store. So yes, the laws are on their side, and it's one of those things where they do this shit because they know the laws, they're not going to be punished. There's not going to be any real consequence to the actions. That's why I feel like
I'm talking about shooting up Target. What are you talking about? There
yes.
won't be any consequences to shooting up Target.
No, I'm talking about the people that are coming into the Target. The laws are on their side.
Mm.
So this is one reason why I feel like Target backed down and was like, well, we'll do these things to squash it, because if the laws empowered us, we would be bold about it.
I see what you mean in that.
We're not.
I see what you mean in that, like, in many of these places, it's legal to, like, conceal carry. It's like Republicans are so gung-ho on the laws with the guns and shit that, but I'm saying even beyond that, these people don't really care about the law.
Agreed.
Like, when one of these motherfucking nuts shoots up shoots up the beach in Florida because they're celebrating LGBTQ people, those people that do stuff like that aren't going, Well, the law is that they don't care about the law. They're just like, I'm shooting up this motherfucking place because I got a gun, and until they kill me or catch me, this gun is my law. And so I just think the mentality that our side approaches it with is like, it's rules and debate and it's this, and the mentality their side approaches it with is, it's bigger than that. It's God's law. I got a gun. I can threaten people. I can kill people. I'm the real victim. You're making my kid gay and all this shit. And I worry that, to me, this is different than the ideological discussions that are about like, this beer put a rainbow on it, but they're not showing up at Anheuser-Busch warehouses and threatening the people there. So in some type of way, that's not as real and present as danger as those videos I see where they're actually running up in places and vandalizing and attacking and chastising employees.
Agreed. And it's also one of the things to where people in general, it's sad, but people in general in this country has kind of been desensitized to a lot of this shit. And on our side, like you say, it's rules and regulations. What do you do? And Donald Trump is a prime example of this. What do you do when the motherfucker say, fuck your rules? Like when somebody says, I don't care about your goddamn rules. Not only do I not care, I'm going to come in here and kill you all because I can. On our side, there's nothing to go against that. It's like, okay, everybody panics, everybody, put words out there and shit like that. But there has to be something other than you broke the laws, wah, type of shit. And I think that's where the frustration comes in. I'm like, motherfucker, vote people in, pass laws, get shit done and to do something. But it's, well, we really can't do anything. This is what the law says. We want to quote unquote follow shit by the books. But when somebody says, fuck you and your books, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, look, we just see it differently. The audience thinks, they should have left him up. And I guess we'll find out because they did actually leave him up. Mm-hmm. They took down like the tuck suit or whatever. But like, I've been in Target since then. It's up. All my friends that have gone to Target since then, it's up. So my guess is they just publicly backed down and then just left the shit up out of support. But it's not, like I said, we'll see if hopefully it doesn't escalate. I just think the wrong thing to do in a case like this as a company is to escalate shit. And then the people that make that decision in the corporate office are not the people that are on the front lines. You're putting somebody making $7.50 an hour on the front lines against these religious fucking cultists.
Correct.
The Q&A, why the black dolphins got to be the killer whales? Jane says, power to the black dolphins, aka freedom whales. Exactly, brother. Magnificent Breeze says, because them niggas are some stone killers. They might not kill many people, but everything else in the ocean is dinner to them. Yeah, but we don't call, but listen to what you said, Magnificent Breeze. Okay. We call the sharks that eat people what? Great whites.
They got better PR.
So they got better white supremacy. So we know those sharks. We don't call them killer whites. We don't call, like it's kind of, you don't think that's kind of fucking interesting? Good grief.
Wait, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. These Negroes don't know nothing about history. These Negroes don't know. Let me get this straight.
No one's out there. The freedom.
Raphael says the black dolphins are tired of migrants drownings in the most dangerous crossing in the world. Revenge on sea brethren. If Yakubians want peace, I can arrange for offerings if they meet with me. Aaron says white dolphin propaganda. Dolphinganda. Agreed. And Mishibu says, right, Rod, ain't nobody giving any money to that white boy. He better use that Mount Everest trip money to float his family. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, at some point, I looked up, Sean King was asking for money for shit. I'm like, what is this even for? Like, you're like, I'm climbing mountains. I'm like, what? Y'all gave money to this?
He did at one period of time. Yes, he did.
I mean,
he didn't even climb that mountain.
Like, I can't even feel bad for the like, I'm like, yeah, did you get got or you just wanted to give some money away at this point? Who's still believing in this shit? Anyway,
ain't
good
nothing
luck.
wrong, but them and climb the mountain.
Good luck to everybody. You know. I guess go tell it on the mountain is what they're saying. All right, so episode 2717 is Miracle Whip Cave Dweller. We got some comments. Ramsey D. Jenkins says 5 stars of paying off my student loan and paying off debts require me to have relations with De Niro, Jagger, Eastwood, or Pacino without having a baby. Sign me up. Ken Cottrell is the ultimate white people news. I love how you put without having a baby, but I'm like, the baby is, that's where the real money is.
That's where the bag is.
Because listen, them men right there, they not getting married. Okay, so you might be able to like finesse some stuff in the short game, but if you want them long term, you know, student loan goals like you brought up, you probably gonna have to leg lock one of them old niggas. You gonna have to put the clamp.
You want some of that estate money?
You have to put the clamp on them octogenarians. Okay, you got to do what you got to do. That's why I respect these women.
Get them Kegels working, and like you said, in the fucking prime years of their lives, they like I could be getting some young dick.
I respect them, man. They cash them vaginas in like lottery tickets.
Yes, like, sir.
Come on and fill me up, and let's get this motherfucking money on the road.
Come on.
Appia says life isn't hard as it is. Life is hard as it is, but I'm glad I don't have a baby with a senior citizen to survive. I tried to imagine it today, and it's a no for me. Yeah, but that's because you thinking about broke ass senior citizens, so you don't even like you thinking about struggles and shit.
We talking about the ones that got banked somewhere where you can be in your 20s and like never have to get a real job for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just like lock one of these niggas up and the nanny's taking care of the kids, you fucking gallivanting around the globe. You figure it out. Ernest says, hold up, Apple Maps took you back to the back of the building? Really? Right in front of my Juneteenth?
All right. Me and Roger looked up like, it's a whole ass fence. How you expect us to get to the store?
Sir Spoonful on YouTube says, just when I try to get out, I leave it back in. Roderick, Mr. Morrow, please laugh my ass off. And lastly, the poll: do you watch legal porn that you wouldn't want anyone to know about?
Yes,
because I know everybody was shitting on Taylor Swift. Really, I was shitting on Taylor Swift via her boyfriend, which I still find that to be weird. I also don't think that would ever apply to any man ever of all time, period. No matter how disgusting the woman he's dating is, we would never be like, I don't fuck with him because of the woman he chose to date. So that's some weird patriarchal shit that no one's figured out yet, even the woke people. But anyway, yes, Karen just said yes. 61% of the audience says yes. 38% of the audience says no, but it's probably lying.
Yeah, because the thing is, just because you watch something does not mean it's something that you want to participate in and or do.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I love that episode we do every year with the Pornhub poll, like the results of what people actually watch, because it's all low-key, like, disgusting taboo stuff if it was real life. It's
right.
Incest, it's hentai, it's, you know what, it looks like if it was real life and tentacles was coming out of the ground and fucking sexual assault people, pretty sure 0 people are gonna be like, yeah, I'm in, come fuck me up, octopus. But if you're talking about fucking fiction, you're talking about consenting adults, you're talking about stuff that's not real,
right?
At that point, I feel like people can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't have to be into it, and I try my best to not do too much of the moralizing and shit that other people do about that subject, because I'm honestly, I don't feel like it makes anyone special to not have the kink that some other person got.
Correct. It's
like
different for everybody.
It don't make you like better, like, because to me it only would make you better if people was doing shit in real life and you weren't doing it, right? So, which you don't deserve a pat on the back, but it's like if someone, you're like, well, personally, guys, I'm not into watching another man fuck my wife. And then you know, I sit in the corner dressed in a Superman suit in a closet. Okay,
Right. And
like that's obviously that's obviously is not a lot of people into that, but if they were, or if you're not, it doesn't really say shit to me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It just feels like we all have puritanical issues around that stuff, but we don't want to like necessarily discuss it.
Right.
Because in public we lie. It's why that Supreme Court case about like trying to ban pornography, I think it was a Supreme Court case, but how it ended up that you can have porn on this is before streaming and stuff, but porn on like the cable stations that you pay extra money for, you can have pornography on them, and the reason that happened is because the judge, the actual cable company or whoever gave the data to the court, like this is what people are watching,
right?
And so
they're lying.
The court was like, okay, so we can't get anyone in public to say they're into this shit. Clearly people are into this shit, and if we take away this right for people to view it, we'll really be stripping something away from the society because that people do use, even though in public everyone says they don't. And I think that's kind of our thing, is knocking down the people that say what their kinks is when it goes too far, quote unquote, for our taste. And I don't know, something about it feels wrong to me. And if, like I said, I've just drawn the line that I don't have to watch it, I don't have to be into it, but I'm not gonna be bothered that someone is into it. It just ain't got shit to do with me.
Nope.
You know,
it's just not my thing, and that's okay. Just like a lot of people like shit, I like shit. A lot of people are like, well, what the fuck is she watching?
Honestly, once them niggas came out with This Ain't Roots, I was like, okay, so this is different.
Oh yes, This Ain't Roots.
It's just a whole different type of person out there that enjoy things. I'm not
getting some head by the water.
Yeah, I was like that. Okay, yeah, nothing's off limits to y'all, and good. More props to you. You know. And I'm not even saying I'm disgusted by that as much as it's just it's hard for me to jack off while laughing. I can't do it.
Me too.
So if it's too funny, I'm probably gonna have to be out. But it's not because I'm just so angry. It's more like, wow, you niggas have no bounds. This is hilarious.
This is funny.
Anyway, the poll on Spotify, which apparently I wrote differently. What's going on this week? No wonder we took a week off. It was, do you watch legal porn that you wouldn't want anyone to know about? Yes, no, or I don't watch porn at all, which I wish I had included on our website. So 16% don't watch porn at all. So those people don't. They just don't count.
Yeah, they don't count.
Okay, these are robots. The other percentage, 55% yes, 29% no. And like I said, I truly hope everyone's on the up and up, but I personally think people are lying because I really think it's so invasive. Porn is so ridiculous at this point. It's so invasive. They're adding stuff to porn that doesn't even make it's like, why do these people need to be step siblings? There's nothing that it adds that takes away from the plot. We know they're not. Because they've just been in the same scene last week with different step siblings.
Right.
How big is this family?
This family is humongous.
You know, and how she the stepmom and the stepdaughter, and then there's too much going on.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, we can't figure it out. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It's like, it's so ridiculous that I don't know. I think I would never assume like, well, that just means that person wants to do that in real life. They want to have incest. I'm like, they probably want to watch two hot people fuck, and they didn't write the scene.
Right, and they didn't title the movie.
Anyway, the Q&A. Return of the Snow Bunny though. The comments. Y'all really got me and my coworker looking at these titles, not in the office. One of the titles' name is Shuck It Duck It. I'm done. Dog. I like, honestly.
Shuck It Duck It. That's fucking hilarious.
Honest to God, racism is so funny. It's fucked up and it has real effects. And I get the people that they can't laugh because it's too infuriating. But the way my brain processes things, it goes to funny first, not anger first. And I have a lot of friends, that they're built different, where like they go to anger first, and
as they process it, it may eventually turn into funny. For
maybe, but that's not what I was gonna say. They go to anger first, and that's their thing. I go to humor first, and like if I saw something racist happen right in front of me, my brain inside would mark it would note that this was incongruent and ridiculous first. Anyway, racism is so fucking funny. And I know everything taboo goes into porn, especially because that's our brains like attracted to taboo shit or whatever is off limits to you, and who knows all the shit we're dealing with in our society. You got, y'all, many of y'all were raised like with a lot of religious hangups and puritanical shit and moral shit and shame, and so you have a lot of that shit in you, and you're watching this, and it's, you can't get around it for whatever. You can have complicated relationships with your family and shit that you can't, whatever it is that fucks you up is individual for each person. But man, the shit they do in porn is so ridiculous. It's funny to me. It's just stupid and funny. It's, like the thing I think about a lot is there are people that have the right. People that come up with porn scenarios for the holidays.
Yep, they seasonal.
Like there are people somewhere. There's somewhere at Bang Bros or Brothers. There's some person being like, "Don't forget, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. We got to get the St. Patrick's plots going. We got to buy some
Christmas."
Yeah.
I've seen it with Santa. I've seen it with clowns. Like, yeah, I have seen a lot of shit.
But it just, I don't know. It's funny to me that there's somebody somewhere being like, "Oh shit, don't forget, we got Juneteenth coming up." Like
don't
that's
forget Memorial Day is coming up.
We'll truly have equality when Juneteenth porn is out. That's like right now.
I can't wait.
Right now, I don't think we truly got equality because everyone is scared to make the first Juneteenth porn because they know niggas are gonna be very upset, and then some of them are gonna jack off to it. But they're gonna be very upset. But someone has to bite the bullet, and I'm looking at you, Black.com. Okay,
come on. Come on, Black.
You've been getting by on the backs and penises of our people for a long time.
Yes, you have.
And it's time for you to pay some reparations. We need some Juneteenth porn. You're going to take a PR hit. There's going to be a lot of people upset.
Oh, this sex equity.
But we need sex with thee. Okay, we need sex with thee. We need y'all to go ahead and bite the bullet, man. Someone got to be the first person to do it. I don't know if Blacks on Blonde's going to do it. I'm scared of what Black Payback gonna do with it.
Right?
I don't know if I
want them to get a hold of it.
I don't really subscribe to all that, so I'm gonna need y'all to step up to the plate, Black. Okay? At least y'all will make it look classy.
Come on, y'all the ones with the budgets.
You know what they should do for Black.com for the Juneteenth one? They should just have some Black people have sex with no white people involved at all. That'll shake up the whole world. Everybody
people
be like, what?
People don't know how to act.
There's no interracial taboo. Not this week, motherfuckers. Black.com. The takeover. Anyway, Renee says, I'm sorry, Coach Malik says, this smells like a shitty situation. Dang, Karen, you cracked me up. Great to see you two take time for yourselves. We all need it. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Renee says there's an adult film actor with the same stage name as me, and we both have IMDb pages. I haven't watched any of her films yet, but the titles alone are hilarious. Well, she says Renee Leslie. I don't know if that's her government or her IMDb name. So I don't know if that's the name of the porn star. If so, I don't think I've heard of her.
Never heard of her.
So I don't know. Or maybe she has another name or something, but you didn't put it. Write the name down and then we'll look it up. We'll compare y'all IMDb pages, which also got to be scary when you try to like submit for a job.
Right, you got to put in parentheses, not the porn star.
Right, it's like, so what's your name? It's Tiana Trump, the other one, not the one you thinking about. Okay,
it's number 2. I'm Tiana Trump, number 2, not number 1. Number 2.
Yeah. Make sure you go to number 2 on the IMDb results because I didn't do them other movies.
That's not me.
I've never acted in Gangland White Boy Stomp. I've never done that.
No.
Okay, so
I was not there.
If you see something for like all that ass 7, that's not me. Okay?
I was not a part of Fuckboy Island Part 27. I was not in that scene.
Fuckboy Island's just a reality TV show.
Sounds like a porn name.
Clear Lane says, to Karen's point about peace and chaos gives people an area of predictability, which allows a false sense of control. It feels like people that need control forget that they can control their own peace too. That's deep. Keisha says, but did they go anywhere in the first place? LOL. I want the return of the snow tep. That's true. Where did the snow bunny go that she's returning? Or you know what? That must have been her second scene at Black Payback. So they were getting more payback to the same. She was really dedicated to the cause.
Double payback.
I gotta give back. I really have to give back. Okay. Double the payback, double the penetration. All right. We gotta stupid. All right, let's get into the phone line. Someone said, who's gonna do Mother's Day and Father's Day porn? Fam, they done beat you to that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's really more like Stepmother's Day and Stepfather's Day, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, they done thought of all that shit. Everything except Juneteenth. That's the only one I never seen them do.
Yeah, they done did President's Day. They done did, just about, like I said, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, you name it, they've done it.
All right, voicemail time. 704-557-0186.
Hey, Rod. Hey, my girl Karen.
Hey, baby.
I hope y'all are again having a blessed week, child-free, getting to the motherfucking money, black capitalism. I am chilling. This is your girl Sierra. I'm saying your girl like y'all know me like this. But this is your girl Sierra in Norfolk, Virginia. Owner, CEO of TrapKink.com.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
trap moisture in your kinks, coils, curls, and skin while improving your mental and physical health. Shout out to Cameron. Real quick, Cameron, a black girl stay with some degrees, bitch. I just got my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling.
Go
At
ahead.
the end of this month, right before my birthday, I start my PhD for clinical mental health counseling. And I got my own business. And I started a transportation business. Bitches be working. Anyway, I just want to say, first of all, I love you guys. I know it's been a minute. Your girl been working, studying. I remember the first time I got to see y'all. We played the games during the first COVID situation where we had to do Thanksgiving from home and all that shit. Life has been lifing, but shit has been great. Trying to buy my first fucking home, all that type shit. A lot is going on, but anyway, fuck all that. I'm gonna say something real quick because it's all about John Morant. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. But bless his heart. Anyway, just bless his heart. Like he goes. I was gonna say something, but it's 2023 and it's dark. You know how how girl be like,
Don't say it. Don't
I ain't
say
gonna say that about that boy, but you know that. That boy, bless his heart. Anyway, I'm watching this Anna Nicole Smith documentary.
Oh, she got cut off. She left another message though.
So back in the day, because I've been listening to y'all for a mighty long time, I would have called this voicemail woman an evil bitch and a rude ass heifer. But you know what I'm saying? I'm saved. I am now a therapist, and so I'm going to stay out of all of that. Anyway, I was watching this Anna Nicole Smith documentary, and it is very beautifully written. You can tell that everybody provided consent forms who was head of the estate. One thing I can see is there was a lot of cocaine and methadone use, and there was no mention of jail. There's no mention of Jell-O. There's no mention of gelatin. There's no mention of gel for the hair. There is no mention of GEL, JAIL, none of that. None of that. There is no mention of jail. Daddy looking like Elvis, no mention of jail. No type of gelatin, gel pill, no type of gel. Doctor just prescribe them. Y'all be blessed. Take care of our people, man, and just like hug your children, and keep them home because they killing motherfuckers in these schools. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I seen hotels. I live in Norfolk, and I seen hotels outside the Audi today. I'm on that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on that. They were out there in different cases. They looking like Power Rangers. I gotta go. Love y'all guys. Bye. I gotta go.
This is extremely random. I feel like
be safe. Hope they ain't recruit you for the team.
I feel like she just had things on her mind and decided to call our phone line. I don't know that these are things that happened on the show. She left one more. Hopefully it's not gonna be the hotels answering the phone.
I swear to God, I'm not calling y'all no more. This is gonna be the last time I call y'all. But I just finished the documentary. I know y'all don't give a fuck about these white women, but hear me out. I'm about to have a Hotep moment.
Maybe they did get her.
They might have.
So what I just learned was that Anna Nicole Smith is one of the blueprints of a white Karen. And I say a white Karen because my black sister and queen in Christ Karen is sitting right there, and you don't identify with that bullshit.
Nope.
But what I've learned is that Anna Nicole Smith was like, yo, when I'm a white woman crying, they pay me. So I'm going to keep getting these white women paying money, and you be blessed. And that's what I learned, that these white, we already knew these white, I got to start being white, that they be acting. But they also profiting from this shit, bro. I'm going to go to bed. Y'all have a good night. It's 5.
All right. That was a lot.
Crisis counseling. Be blessed.
All right. Good luck. That was a lot. You are right. We do not care about these white women, so that's probably,
You be safe out here in the streets for them Power Ranger hotels.
We got some voicemails from Tanisha. She left 3, I think. Some it says from Sunday and then one from Thursday.
Hey, Rod and Karen, it's Tanisha G from Brooklyn, and it is Memorial Day weekend on a Sunday. And I wanted to say I'm so glad that I miss you guys doing your regular shows, your regular schedule. But honestly, I got behind on a lot of the shows, and so I needed to get caught up anyway. So you all being off has been really good because I was able to do that. But also, I wanted y'all to have some time for yourselves and be able to relax. You do so much, and it's also appreciated. So definitely wanted y'all to get some time to yourselves. But I wanted to say I had on my bucket list to go back and listen to every episode of the show. So I went and listened today to episode 1, which is called the Love Cast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cute because I love y'all's little thumbnail on the podcast episode where it's like y'all are all cute up in the photo booth. And it was just really funny to see how it started. As you all had started off like with a real short show. It was like 41 minutes. It was from January 9th of 2010. So it was like it's like opening up a time capsule because all the stuff that you're talking about, of course, is like history. But it's fun to kind of relive it. And you did some movie reviews, which I thought were really cute. They were really short though, because everything was short. It was 41 minutes. And the whole time y'all were playing music in the background, which I thought was kind of like, wow, because it was hard to focus on what you were talking about because I was either trying to figure out who was singing or I was trying to jam along with them. Like there was some Beyonce on there at one point, and I was like, oh no, Beyonce can't be in the background. She's going to never stay in the background. So I also wanted to say there was a part of the show where y'all were talking about, oh, you know what? I think this is about to cut off. So hold on. Let me just call y'all back real quick.
All
Okay,
right.
bye.
Go to the next one.
Hey, it's Tanisha G from Brooklyn. Anyway, I was talking about episode 1, the Love Cast. I really enjoyed that show, and I thought it was really cute when y'all were talking about Applebee's, because Applebee's is a place I don't mess with. So I really appreciated the fact that y'all said y'all not trying to meet up with nobody and ever go to Applebee's because it's a mess. Because we all know Applebee's is serving nothing but hypertension with a side of diabetes. So please, Black folks, stop going to Applebee's. Anyway, I thought it was weird that they have you were saying they have pagers on the wait staff, and I was wondering if that's still a thing, because like I said, I don't go there anymore. It sounds oppressive. It sounds ridiculous. And I just don't understand why people want to work for either, spend time, spend money, make money in Applebee's. The place is just like hell on earth. But anyway, it'd be interesting if anybody knows, if they can let us know if that ever panned out, if that died out in the new decade, let us know. But also, I thought one thing that was really funny was you all were doing questions. You had 2 questions from your Twitter fans. And one of the questions was, why can't guys handle just being used for sex by a woman? And I thought the answers that y'all gave to the 2 questions were great. But what was funny about that particular question was that the background song that was playing was Maxwell's Whenever, Wherever, Whatever. I was just dying because I was like, did they know they had this man begging in the background trying to mean something to a woman? Did they have that set up for that question, or did they just randomly come on the CD player? I didn't know. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, I'm so excited to get into more of the classic episodes of your show, and I'm super excited for you guys to come back with some new stuff as always. Thank you for being you, and y'all stay blessed. Take care.
Aw, thank you. That's adorable. That, I don't go back and listen to old episodes. It's just, that's how I stay present, and just the way my mind works. But it is always interesting to hear people talk about our old episodes. The music was there because it doesn't make sense now, and I only know that because of years of experience. But at the beginning, our sound quality wasn't that good, and my thinking was, we'll cover up the bad sound quality with the music and make it more like you're sitting around a table listening to people talk at a party, which is the dumbest shit I've ever thought in my life, because I hate parties for that reason. There's nothing worse than trying to hear people over fucking music. But here's my dumb ass thinking I was doing something smart and avant-garde
and clever.
Which is interesting though, because I do think we were one of the first podcasts that did that, and a shit ton of people copied it after that. Like, I don't think we were the first one, but I know, being that we were one of the original Black podcasts, there were a few Black podcasts that came out after us that used the music in the background shit, and I would be like, these motherfuckers. But that was back, before I found the Lord. But that's adorable that you went back and listened.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, particularly with the first episodes. I think in the first one we talked about a list of shit we would not talk about, and today we talk about all the shit on the list that we said we weren't gonna touch. We talk about.
Also, that episode we were very tired because we had recorded it like 4 times, and we weren't even sure that was recording or that was gonna come out. So
we sure did. And at the end, you know what? We looked at each other. How did you get this on iTunes? That show you how fucking long ago that was.
Yeah. So she did leave one more message though. This is from Thursday.
Hey, Rod and Karen. This is Tanisha G in Brooklyn, and I was calling to get some feedback. I wanted to watch a bunch of your episodes. I left some other voicemails about that, and I just finished this morning episode 10, which is called Old Man Strength. And I just gotta say, y'all are really talented, because already like 10 episodes in from the beginning, I just had such a good time. They were so entertaining. The jokes were really good. And so it just makes it even better that you're like almost approaching 3,000 episodes at this point. You're so close. But anyway, I saw that to say I had to get on Spotify to do this, because iTunes was like, will only let me go back as far as like 770 episodes. So I was like, let me go join Spotify and see what Spotify has. Spotify took me all the way back to the beginning.
It does.
Which is amazing. So I can do all the episodes. And I was able to leave a rating. It allowed me to leave like a 5-star, but it didn't give me an option to write. So I don't know if I missed something. I'm going to have to explore that a little bit deeper. But I just thought it was really cool that I decided to do this, not only because I get to enjoy your old content, but also because Spotify is like, oh my God. Like now that I have Spotify, I'm like, why the fuck am I fucking with Pandora? why? Let me just go on and delete that today. That's what I'm gonna do right after this call. I don't need Pandora. Spotify is amazing. So thank you for getting me there. Thank you for all your fantastic content. You're so amazing. And I look forward to listening to some recent episodes, but I'm still, like I said, enjoying them old classics. Everybody should get on it. They are so good. Okay, take care. Bye.
Thank you. Well, it's gonna be a good time, honey. You're gonna really go back through the archives, because when we first started, I talked, but not like I do now. Like right now, the person I am now, I'm not that same person. I'm very vocal. I will cut a nigga off. I used to didn't do that, and when we used to get off the show, I would talk Roger's head off. Roger would be like, we was just recording. Why are you talking to me about this now? You got opinions. And so I have came a long way.
Yeah, I think also I'm glad that we did the show the way we've done it, where we've been authentically ourselves. You know, I think we've gotten more like we've been able to like fill out more, and you know, you've watched us change opinions and grow over the years. You'll be able to go back through the archives and watch that too. But we were never trying to be like edgelord, trolls, sensationalistic like that. We weren't trying to do content that didn't fit us, where we were like, I'm gonna, you know, call my wife a bitch because I need the internet to fight about it.
And
or
people,
you know,
right in and ask us why. It was hilarious. We'd be like, why are y'all nice to each other? Why are y'all a loving, boring ass couple?
Or even the stuff where it's like someone writes for advice or something. I remember we had a time where people were writing for advice, and we stopped it because it was just like, I don't want to do that now. Look, maybe that was a mistake and we should have kept doing it if we wanted to be like a bigger podcast, but we never wanted to be the biggest podcast. And you see how the shit goes viral now with these podcasts, the Black podcast is all about relationships, and it's all traumatic fucking manipulative bullshit. But whatever, like, we decided not to do that stuff because it just wasn't us. And I'm glad, you know, that we were able to do it this long and get this far doing it and have so much fun doing it. And, you know, not like, I think because of that, there's a level of embarrassment that always comes with having stuff out there that exists, that it forever, and that you're eventually like, oh, I don't feel that way anymore. But I like that it's out there so people can be like, oh, this was the process. And hopefully there are people out there that may be able to listen to that and be like, oh yeah, I see that too, you know, and not just in something like an opinion thing or like something stupid we said or did. I mean, like, growth is in like even learning to more better express ourselves better, even learning to lean into our thinking, to believe in ourselves. That podcast you're listening to, I feel like we said our names were Rodimus Promise. Say that again.
Yes, sir.
I don't even think we said Rod and Karen. I don't think, you know, I you know, like, I just think a lot of that stuff we did put our picture on it, which is interesting,
right?
You know,
put our pictures without our names.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's just a lot of stuff that I'm very proud of, and I honestly thank you for listening, and thank you for calling in and leaving messages about it, because, you know, it definitely reminds me that we had something from day one, even if we didn't know what it was. So thank you. All right, let's get to the emails and then we'll get out of here. All right, not me almost crashing my car. Says, I believe this is Quiana, who says, listening to the original Flavor McNice, aka Teen Perfect Titties. When this fool Rod said Janelle Monáe had restraint because every artist with a perfect set of titties is obligated to use them, even Rick Ross, I almost crashed my car. I can't. Please never change. I'm trying not to, you know. I do say some silly stuff. Oh man. The Blackout Tips origin story. Hey now, Karen and Rod. This is from Mark, aka OG_Zool, who says, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but the first time I ever heard Rod was on one of Bomani's radio shows in 2011, 2012. And he mentioned that y'all had a podcast called The Blackout Tips. And I thought the name was so fucking awesome and oh so subtly subversive. That's why I dig it. Funny thing is, I grew up around some bougie black folks who used to overtip to think they defeat the stereotype. I seemingly known how to calculate 20% most of my life. Anyways, yeah, you know, man, I think that's one of the things, one of the hangups I've never had is over tipping because I'm black, which is such an ironic thing to say with the name of our podcast. I've over tipped because I was a waiter.
Same.
Mm-hmm. You know,
I was a server. I always over tip. A lot of times people are actually shocked and surprised. Like I've even had servers come out like the door and be like, thank you. I was like, oh, I guess like I don't really think nothing of it because I'm like, I don't know what kind of day you had. Just gonna make your day. Pay a bill. I don't care.
I'm sure some people, you know, when they get the tip, probably assume like, oh, these black people overcompensating or I did a great job or whatever. But no, it's just, man, being a waiter is hard. I've done it before. Yes, and I just remember the feeling of a big tip making my fucking day and making it feel like I was worth something. And so anyway, he says, when I heard the name, I was like, I have to listen to the show, and I'm glad I did. I've been listening ever since. I'm sure you've done the origin story of the name, but I've never heard it. Hope you revisit that sometime. Okay, so the origin story of the name was simply I had a blog. I was a waiter. And the blog was really just first I had an email chain to just me and my friends. And I would be at work bored. This is how I should have known I shouldn't have been in corporate America. I don't know what
corporate America was not for you.
But almost like every day or two, I send a list out to my friends, posted on message boards, emails, whatever, and it would be like random thoughts was what it started as. And the random thoughts would be random as fuck. It just I think we even started
like the name Random Crew, didn't it?
The name of the group became the Random Crew. Because that was how often and how much it was just sending out the emails to my friends of like, hey, here's some random thoughts, and they would send some back and stuff too. Like it would be fun. Like, you know, we had a good time. I'm still friends with those people to this day. But yeah, so I would be like, you know, Random Crew, you know, check out these random thoughts, and the random thoughts could be anything. I remember one time I wrote a whole rap parody of the 10 weed commandments. I'd never smoked weed in my life, but it was like, this is what it was. It was a parody of Biggie's 10 crack commandments. It was like, all right, here's 10 weed commandments or something like that. It was just stupid shit. And then eventually they'd be like, you know what, man, you should start a blog. And I'm like, I mean, you know, who's gonna read the blah blah? I was like, we would read it, you know, maybe people could share it. And this is when like blogs was really popping at the time. So it's like, you know, okay, why don't you check out this, you know, why don't you do this blog project? I'm like, all right, cool. So I needed a name for the blog, and one of my big pet peeves was working in the server industry, and a lot of people say black people don't tip. And to me, one, I guess it's a chicken or egg thing. I never really had this problem of black people not tipping me, but I also never was racist to black people,
right,
or treated them less than because I expected them to not tip me, you know. And maybe that's the, you know, not that I figured out the fucking not that I solved this unsolvable equation or anything. I didn't find the last digit of pi here, but just seemed not that complicated to me that if you fucking treat black people like you treat the other customers you're nice to, they'll probably be nice to you. But I would see it all the time where like waiters would be racist. They used to give me their tables and think I wouldn't notice the pattern of you're only giving me black tables and trading me white tables.
Right.
Which is so fucked up. And eventually I just started taking their tables, but not trading them shit back. Like, you don't want to wait on those black people, I'll do it. Fine.
Right. And no, you don't get none of my tables. Fuck it. You just get, basically, you get your money up.
Yeah. And I used to get some good ass tips too from black people. Like, I'm like, it might just been the cut of my jib or whatever. I remember these black women used to give me good tips because they felt like I was going places. You know what I mean? Like,
us. Oh, you're gonna be somebody, boy.
Right.
Here's some extra money.
Look at this good brother right here.
You
Whatever.
in school and shit. They was like, oh, you in college?
I remember one time dude was taking his family to like Atlanta because his daughter was going to college or some shit. And this brother, it was him and his whole family at this table, wife and all this shit.
The whole crew.
And this dude literally tried to throw his daughter at me. And I felt so embarrassed for her. Like, he was like, you got a girlfriend? I said, yes, I do. Because of course I was dating Karen at the time. I said, I have a fiance, I think maybe, but I definitely had a girlfriend.
Right.
And he was like, man, listen, my daughter's going to such school. You in school? I'm like, yeah, I go to Fayetteville State. I'm telling him all this shit. And he's like, oh, well, listen, I'm gonna give you my daughter's number. I'm like, nigga, what are you doing? But he gave me such a big fucking tip, and I took the tip, but then I threw the number away because it just felt weird. And like, I don't know, like, even if his daughter would have been into it, that now I'm in a family where the dad does shit like this. None of this is appealing to me.
Right.
And this is such a tangent, but at any rate, the dude came back like that was a Friday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, he came back, was like, I noticed she ain't called my daughter. And I was like, oh, he was like, he requested me again and everything. It's like, what, you still got a number, right? I was like, yeah, I just I hadn't had time to call her. It just, I got a lot going on. I'm like, nigga, you wouldn't even take I got a girlfriend for a fucking no. Anyway, all that stuff to say, the title came from, I started a blog and it was The Black Guy Who Tips, because I was like, racist people are always saying black people don't tip. So my logic at the time was, if you know me, you know at least one black person that tips. So can you just stop saying that racist bullshit?
Right.
That was it. That was the whole conceited thing. I didn't really think it all the way through. I never thought like, oh yeah, there's gonna be some people that see this shit and think I think I'm an exceptional Negro that does. That's like, I tip on
that was
the rest
the furthest
of
thing from your mind.
But that's just how pro-black I am and how pro-black I grew up. I didn't even think of it. I literally was like, who would read it that way? And then over the years, we get some people that will be like, man, when I saw the title, I assumed y'all was on some like black Republican shit. And I'm like, ugh. But I'm glad that everybody who's made it through the title and listen, and it's pro-black, ends up loving the show for the most part. So I guess it's divine providence it was named that. And then the other thing that was for the blog. For the podcast, I would have named it probably some stupid shit like the Rod and Karen show. And we would have never succeeded, because the vast majority of people that find our podcast because they search black on Apple Podcasts, and that was before, on iTunes, and that was before there were really any black shows. Yeah,
and me and Roger had a running joke, and we were really, I know this might sound silly, y'all, but we was really excited because we were number 2 up underneath the black guy from Hey Arnold for like years.
That was on Google.
Yes, for years. And when we was like number 1, we actually was like, yeah, now we took the number 1 spot.
But yeah, so all that stuff to say, like, Karen didn't want to have her name on the show. She wasn't even sure she would be the co-host. She was like, you can replace me. And so I just named,
I'll be in the background.
So I ended up not naming it Rod and Karen or whatever, because I never thought she wouldn't be the co-host, but I just thought whatever it takes to make her comfortable enough to do the show. Right. So if she thinks she's doing it anonymously or whatever, that's fine.
With my whole ass face and name and shit, but I'm anonymous.
Well, at the time you weren't even saying your name.
Oh, that is right.
But yeah, eventually it just stuck and it grew and now we're stuck with it, quote unquote, but in a good way. I love it now. And So that's the origin story. Ladre writes in, howdy niggas. I wrote in this week after listening to the episode talking about the woman who got called nigger chick at the restaurant. Ever since you read the story, I've been thinking, and I don't think this is what people think it is at all. Let's remember she did order blackened chicken panini. It is my genuine belief that nigger chick is what they call the blackened chicken sandwich at that location. Does it make it any less racist? Absolutely not. I would argue that it actually makes it more racist because these people didn't just say nigger because they seen a nigger. They just say nigger all the time. Cashier calling back to the cooks on the line, I need 3 nigger chicks, hold the mayo.
That's hilarious.
Or as Taylor Swift's boyfriend says, that's a good title for a poem.
Oh no!
Anyways, as always, you two are the dopest couple in the podcast. Thanks for the last piece, Dre. I don't know. That's a great theory. I'm not gonna knock your theory just because I think it's such a good, interesting theory. Even if I think they're probably it's the Occam's racism for me. It's Occam's racism, not Occam's racer. It's Occam's racism for me. God damn, that's the title. It's Occam's racism for me. It seemed pretty simple. They seen a black woman because remember they only changed the name when you order a change to the menu item. So if she says no pickles, then they can go in and type anything in the world they want to put, and they put nigger chick. And I'm sorry, that feels like that can't happen often enough for them to be doing that joke. So my guess is they just seen a black woman and called her a nigger chick. Plus, chick is peak white man speak for black women. God, they love saying black chick. Oh, God, they love saying black chick.
Yes, they jam.
I'm not even knocking it. I think they say it because they don't want to say black girl because there's a racist connotation. It's I don't know, but man, I don't know. Black chick is like cop. It gives me that like
yes.
It's not wrong, but it's like that is not my way. That is not how I would say it. I'm sure the white people listening to this probably, feeling very aggrieved right now.
When did racism against white people become okay?
Oh no!
Jeff says, and the saga continues. Hi, Rod and Karen. Time off is fantastic. Hope time off is fantastic. Looks like bullshit about the bike is continuing. I was appalled to hear the sociopath woman has been receiving donations for legal fees. Legal fees? What? What is she even going to fucking? What? Oh, racism is so fucking stupid. Why? And who? The people that give money to this shit are probably gonna be the same people that let Elon Musk put a chip in their brain.
Of course.
What would what is the fucking reason? Well, we got to get her legal fees for what? What is she legal? She not going to jail. She didn't even lose her job. What are you? Oh my God, so fucking stupid. This article seems to bring a bit more explanation to the 17-year-old side. Oh, we already covered this. All right. And then just another article about Glenn Youngkin. Dracarys on these fuckers forever. Love, thanks, and respect, Jeff in Japan. Thanks, dog. Mm-hmm. Foggy Bottom says, dear Rod and Karen, you two are the biggest dorks I've ever seen. I used to think you were cooler than me. Keep up the good work. 3,000 will be here before you know it. Love, Roberta. And the title of this is episode 2717, 1211 to 1327, Spotify for podcast ad read. Yeah, we just recorded a new Spotify for podcast ad. So if y'all listening, you probably heard it. We have fun. They make us basically record it every month now. It used to just be the same one for months, but now every month you have to qualify, meaning you have to have 100 listeners. Guys, we got it. Not on a humble brag.
I mean, I don't want to brag. I mean, but y'all be listening.
But you have to do 100 listeners that put out at least one show. And I don't want to brag, but we put out at least one show. And so they make you re-record it, and we have fun with it. We could just do the, hey, Spotify for podcasters. But I'm like, if we're gonna do it, let's have fun,
right?
And so we'll take a minute or two out of our day and just kind of freestyle a different hook for the ad, and I think this time we did. Well, y'all will hear it, but it's like some fake preacher stuff. It was fun. Yeah, we're dorks. I don't know why you ever thought we were cooler than you. I'm
not cool at all.
I don't think I've ever tried to claim to be the coolest nigga of anything.
I am the furthest thing from cool. You talking about the woman who got excited about the goddamn M&M store.
I couldn't get anybody to tell me how to get drugs until I was 43. So I think I was never placing in the cool Olympics, if you know what I'm saying.
And I still don't know. I just use his.
Rage, lip service, and Miss Monet's glorious TT, says John. He says, good morning, Rod and Karen. There's a quote from Rage Against the Machine song that says, the rage is relentless. And that's what I think about every time you talk about the social media addiction, the rage gasms, whether it's over Taylor Swift, Misha Green, Damon Lindelof, or whoever. I'm so glad y'all talk about the importance of being able to recognize it and avoid taking the bait, because, man, I've learned the last couple of years how much better life is once you stop getting stuck in that mess.
Yes. It is a freedom to that. And it's like, I personally feel a lot of people are trapped in the cage, and they could actually, and the door's not even locked. At any time, they could actually go outside of the door, but they're opting to stay there. And then you have somebody to go, oh, the door's unlocked, I can go out. And those people are like, the fuck I'm gonna go back in that cage for? Because they see it's other things out here. It's not that they don't go on social media. It's not that they are separated from it. You just can see, and you're more aware of the things that cage you.
Yeah. I think, and like I said, I may be to the point now where I am so skeptical of and reluctant to be used for outrage, clicks, and promotion and content that I'm now pushing back sometimes too hard on stuff, and I'm trying to find balance on that, because I definitely don't go with my first instinct of being outraged. Almost never. And I'm not even saying that's, I just feel like there's time for me to be mad later. I don't need to instantly get too angry right away. And I see it happening with so many people all the time. I'm already a pretty patient person in general, so it's not even my demeanor to just be moved to rage in my life. In like, I'm more of a slower, like, oh man, that was fucked up. That was fucked. Oh, that was fucked up. Like, that's how I get mad.
Yeah, and also the thing is, I put like this. If I'm going to get mad, I want all the information I can get and then analyze it. But like, okay, now I got the right to be mad.
Yeah, and then often a lot of times what I find is that as I gather more information, it's not really rage. It's like for me, the difference. So I think the difference in the makeup for me, I can't speak for other people, for me is this. I find resoluteness to be my strength. In that, once I'm able to analyze something and go, okay, this is what happened, this is how I feel about it, that is a thing I can maintain forever. As opposed to, you snap, you get high on the anger, and for me, I come down off the anger, I normally regret the anger and the out of controlness, and especially as new information comes in, sometimes it feels almost embarrassing. Like, fuck, man, why was I letting myself get so worked up over this? I didn't even know what the fuck happened. And I can feel the annoyance in people. You know, I am an empath. I can feel the annoyance in some people when something happens and I don't jump to the angry right away.
And they look at you like something wrong with you for not jumping.
Yeah, that's not what I'm worried about. But I can feel like that. But I've learned to process that even and be like, well, you're just going to have to be annoyed, because to me, if what you're saying does not cut the mustard, this shortcut of just be mad with me right now, that is not healthy for me. Then explain to me, because I'm willing to listen to whatever the fuck you have to say. And a lot of times I just find that there's very little to be enraged about. There's a lot of things when you can be upset or angry or whatever,
irritated, yes.
But rage and that level of anger for me is and honestly, it's not even that I don't empathize. I find it to be so alluring and so intoxicating when I am that upset that I'm wary of it, like you would be wary of like a drug. Like, oh no, I can't just have one or whatever. Like I don't like that feeling. So that's where a lot of it comes from. And reading and stuff like that, especially long form reading, is really good for it, because when you do long form reading, it makes your brain push things to the side, and you have to concentrate for a long period of time, and you can't just go sentence by sentence getting upset. And so when I long form read, that helps. Reading about being an empath was a big help for me. Even though it's like a short book you can read in the afternoon, I go back to that book all the time. Like, oh yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So those are the things that help me. But yeah, that's going to be the way I process stuff. And this show is about how we process information on here. And so there's times I'm sure people get annoyed. There's times people identify. There's times where we just give somebody a different perspective. But at no point are we trying to stop anybody else from whatever. So if you're one of these people that needs to rage, you need to pile on people, you need to, you don't want to question why you're always angry and shit, that's fine. Then maybe this show is not for you, or maybe this show is just a different perspective in the catalog of perspectives that you're around. But the last thing I'll say is I also find a lot of the angry shit to be intellectually dishonest in its simplicity, and I'm also very wary of that, because I feel like that is where most people end up getting used, is by the dishonesty of a lot of this stuff. Because it's like, once I can get you angry, I can get you to stop thinking, and once you stop thinking, you're running up in Target or whatever the fuck stupid shit that we think the other side is doing. We have our own versions of that over here, and it's like, oh, this is just because once I got you to angry, you couldn't question anything else.
Right. And also, I, particularly as I got older and as I began to learn words and kind of extend my vocabulary and shit like that, I do not like to have arguments that are not in good faith. And a lot of this anger shit is not in good faith in some situations, because once you actually start questioning and answering and trying to logically process it, it's everything but don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think. It's like, then we are not on the same page and we are not having the same conversation. So I'm going to end this because you're actually going to make me mad at you for actually not wanting to actually have a conversation with me. So we're going to skip to the end, and we're just not going to have a conversation in my mind.
Yeah, the thing for me, at least in my life, is I've never been unwilling to explain why. And so it's a big thing for me. Like if I came on this podcast and I was upset about something, I never just told you or the audience or whoever was a guest, like, just be mad because I'm mad. Like, no, it's like I want to communicate to you what's happening. That's my goal. I know not everybody's capable of that, and I'm like, everyone's emotional balances are made up differently, but it's a requirement for me. And so I think because I used to be used like that, because of my empathy, I would lead with it and then try to match people where they were. And I realized I was losing myself in that battle. I was making what I felt not important. And there's a toll to pay to yourself when you do that over and over and over. And so the toll for me was anxiety, panic attacks, emotional instability, depression. It was a lot of stuff I was experiencing, and I really didn't feel like I knew why. And so now I hold on to my reality with like an iron grasp. I will not let anyone take my reality from me. I don't fuck around in lies. I don't dabble in conspiracy, like, in those type of ways. I don't like, like the way people kind of float in and out, they're allowed to do that, but I don't play like that. So I think having come out of that, what I would consider to be like dysfunction in the relationships and pseudo relationships I had, especially via the internet and social media, coming out of that, I'm probably a lot more steadfast and yeah, I'm gonna have to see some evidence for this shit. And so that's just how I move now. And And also I'm wary of those people that are constantly causing chaos and running from fight to fight. So when I see the newest, hey y'all, we need to be mad at this thing, I'm typically like, okay, the first reaction I have is I'm not getting mad. Number one. So number one, we're gonna start with that's off the table for step one is I don't get mad. Number two, what happened? I would like to know fully what happened before I even fucking start chiming in on this shit. And then normally if I'm truly healthily in a place of balance, I will arrive at humor about the stuff. And that's normally how I express myself, good or bad, is typically through like some level of comedy about it. That's when I know I'm processing something, is when I'm able to go back and be like, this is what's funny to me about this. Because a lot along the way to get to those steps, there's a lot of those steps, there's just a lot of landmines to avoid. And so I think that's where I end up with it. And that's why our show sounds like it sounds whenever I'm talking about certain topics, is because I'm the one who's normally like, I don't know. Let me just make sure this is on the up and up, because I don't know how many times we got to go through being fooled or being taken on a tangent by some shit that we just find out later was not even close to the full story. And to me, it's too late. I'll put it this way. I feel bad when I have to go back and clean up the shit I said when I didn't know shit.
And most people don't.
I feel bad about that.
Right.
Most people don't really have that level, or maybe they've accepted a level of something about themselves where they're like okay with that. I'm not okay with that. For my integrity, I try to do that as little as possible. I don't want to come back and keep cleaning my shit up. So I try not to just jump out there with just hot take anymore. And so I think that's a big part of it.
And also somebody who, where I am now, I have emotional intelligence to have that balance. Because like I said before, and I said again, I was the type of person in the household where there was no emotional stability. The highs were high and the lows were lows. There was nothing in between. There was nothing, there was no line where you go, this is what normal is. And when you start going to these extremes, start analyzing why and start getting down to the root cause of it. And one thing about you over the years, you challenged me to actually think. And that's a hard process. And because of where I am now, I go, oh, y'all, a lot of people, particularly on the internet, have not gone through the thinking process. And what I mean thinking process, which means if somebody asks you to explain yourself, be able to use words and logically explain to somebody else outside of the situation where it would make sense to them. Not using code words, not using whatever. No, just explain this to somebody who is outside of the situation. You need to be able to do that, because if you can do that, you can find out if this opinion is yours on how you feel, or if this opinion is being influenced by an outside entity. Because if it's being influenced by an outside entity, you will not have a rational and logical reason, and you will not be able to explain yourself other than hearsays, other than third persons, other than somebody said, or I heard, or I read. That's completely different than you actually sitting down with yourself, by yourself, analyzing everything that's came in and actually forming your own personal opinion, which actually might be different than what social media says, might actually go against the wrongs of whatever the influences are. And the thing about that is, like, once you do that, you will realize a lot of times you're alone. And social media is the opposite of that. Social media is groups. It's about clicks. It's about being accepted. It's about finding these things, which is great, because I've done those things on social media also. But there's also a time where you need to challenge yourself and be like, okay, why do I feel like this? Why? And I had to do that on a lot of things, even with celebrities. Ask myself, why does the celebrity bother me? I actually don't give a fuck about this celebrity. Why? And when I analyze it, I go, oh, I actually don't give a fuck. I was being influenced by people, places, and things, and going with the fad of what was happening at the time, and I actually didn't give a shit. And so once you do that, you can let a lot of the anger go. You can process things differently, and you'll begin to challenge people around you. But like, well, why do you think that? And what happens is that people get mad and angry and upset, and they kind of buff up at you because they actually don't have a reason why. And because they don't have a reason why, the defense is to get mad, because that anger, quote unquote, for a lot of people stops most people from questioning them and challenging them, because they think the rage, they think the wailing, they think the crying online justifies and is a get out of jail free card, and is a I can't be accountable for anything I say or do because I'm mad. It's almost like the angriest person wins. I don't give a fuck how angry you are. You can be angry and wrong.
Yep. And back to this. I know it's a huge tangent. There's a local controversy happening now over a mural coffee shop that some people find insensitive / offensive, and all the social justice people are protesting, demanding the county shut it down now, and now even encouraging vandalism against the business owner. I won't get into details of the image. It would make the email way too long, but it's one of those things where I think they're just taking shit way too far. So I've been resisting getting involved in any way. We're currently seeing groups of angry people vandalize pride rainbows and defacing Black Lives Matter tributes, etc. The people here mean well, and I usually agree with them, but the level of vitriol, aggression, black and white thinking, ignoring our nuance is just the same energy as MAGA white people using community concerns to bully minority business owners and artists in heavily white areas. I just can't unsee the parallels and the constant escalation. I swear it's like something right out of Beef. Speaking of which, one thing I wanted to add to your review was, did you notice the main characters ultimately only found their humanity after they had no access to their phones or social media? God damn, that's a great point. Fucking Chef's Kiss, so good. Yeah, that was valid as fuck. And then as soon as the phones turn back on, here come the problems. Yeah, I don't know the details of that, so obviously I can't speak to what you're saying, but I do agree with the not being able to unsee some of the parallels in things. And I think we are so polarized as a country, but most importantly, the part that I don't see people discussing enough, the tools of social media galvanization of rage and grievance are basically new.
Yes.
And they're not ideologically beholden to any side. That is what is different, and that is what we don't really see discussed much. Everyone thinks it's the other side. Right. And we can only really see it when it's some people we disagree with, politically or ideologically, or people we think are different than us. All of a sudden we can see it, right? We're like, oh, those guys are those people ran up on LeBron James' house and and burned his jersey because he left Cleveland. Those pieces of shit, we know those people are terrible. And you're like, okay, yeah, we can all see that. We all agree on that. That's pretty terrible. Our side thinks that's fucked up. But then, like, I don't know, if there's some celebrity who's like constantly getting harassed or whatever on social media, and it's just because we don't like them, there's never that like, oh no, we doing it too. There's never that stop, like that full stop moment of, oh no, I wouldn't do, like a better example. When someone on our side gets doxxed, we start talking about the threats to their life, the harassment, how unsafe they feel, what it's like for marginalized people on social media, blah, blah. And I agree with all that. And then when one of these Karens in a video does some shit, we do that to them, but we act like we're not. We're like, no, this is just us. This is not, no, she's fake crying. She doesn't really care about her safety or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. That's not how I handle my shit. So I wouldn't necessarily harass this person,
right?
Even though I disagree with this person or whatever. Like, so I think that's the thing, is like, when we do it, it don't count. When they do it, it does. I really enjoyed the discussion about Target and the tightrope act of managing these LGBTQ phobic threats coming from a small but loud group of assholes. I'd much rather businesses say something that sounds like it's appeasing the haters while continuing to sell the pride merch than the other way around. Paying a tiny bit of lip service to conservatives but continuing in the progressive direction is one of those head fake moves that I fully support. And it's always weird that so many people on our side don't get it. Yeah, we're not a very smart. I don't want to say that. I'll take it back. I just feel like our side values how things look more than how effective things are.
Yes, and I'm about effectiveness and
yeah.
getting shit done. How it looks don't mean a motherfucking thing if nothing is accomplished.
Yeah, and I think, I'm with me and Karen are firmly on the side of, like, I don't care about that kind of shit. I just needed to get done. It's why I like Biden so much, is why, I'm more of a pragmatist than most people, is that I how the shit looks is part of the message, but motherfuckers are out here losing but looking sweet.
Right. But bitch, you lost. Like, I don't understand it. Nothing was accomplished. You lost.
So like, I don't care if a candidate is so progressive, I agree with everything they say, and they lose. I feel like then you just failed us. That's how I feel. Like if I then be the person that says the thing that is a little bit pisses off my side a little bit, but you won. Well, now you have power. You can govern how you want, and that's what Biden did, and I like that. Biden is constantly getting shit. Oh, you said it next. Biden is constantly getting shit for doing this because everyone obsesses over the mildly nice things he says about Republicans, even though he's usually twisting the knife into them while doing so. Yep. I don't know if you saw his proposed Title IX rule change for transgender athletes in schools, but it got a lot of outrage when it was released because it gives legitimacy to the notion of trans athlete bans in schools. But as Glad attorney pointed out, it's actually a smart tactic because it puts the onus on the people proposing bans to prove that they have a valid concern over competitive fairness rooted in science and that it won't discriminate based on sex. This is something that is basically impossible given there's no scientific proof that trans athletes have an inherent advantage over cisgender ones at that level, and pretty much all these bans effectively do discriminate based on sex. So it would make statewide bans illegal outright and force every school to try to meet an impossible burden or have their bans easily thrown out in court. Of course, the current Supreme Court would rat fuck it, but Title IX has a very solid legal backbone on precedent. So Biden is basically moving the fight onto the best possible legal ground to try and stop these stupid bans while using language that makes it sound like the biggest are getting a compromise when really they are not. Yeah, I've seen this. I haven't even gotten involved in it. I've read it. And that was my ultimate conclusion, was like, okay, they're using the language to trap these motherfuckers into an unwinnable argument. But this is, it's Twitter. Twitter is a depressed hive mind. They're only going to see the worst possible outcome. It wouldn't have mattered what they would have said. They would have been like, and this is how this is not going to work. The end of the day, the real problem is we let Donald Trump be president. So all this shit is going to end up going before a Supreme Court that will rule against it. And it don't matter what Biden do. And that's on us. That's not on him. That's on us as a voting populace for just thinking shit would be sweet under Trump and that there wouldn't be consequences to pay. And we were warned. Hillary Clinton said this would happen. Who knows how it will play out, but it's kind of political jujitsu move that I think is very smart, but that our side rarely appreciates or gives politicians credit for. Yeah, at some point in the next couple of weeks, we're going to do a full episode on just, speaking of the Biden administration, on just these motherfucking white supremacists that ran up on the White House, on the Capitol building, going to jail.
Let's go.
I've been collecting these. I never stopped collecting them. And you know how much I love to be right. Oh my God. The right boner that I have right now is so fucking engorged, okay? Because I was right. I was like, Merrick Garland is keeping that same energy. I don't know. It's just every fucking word I said about how it's not going to stop. It's just going to escalate. They're going in order of worst to best to least offensive to worst. And so all the people that was, they let this person go home. It's like, because that person didn't do shit.
Right.
The only people that got getting to go home early are the people that didn't do shit or the people that's cooperating. Other than that, you're going to prison. Not jail, prison, nigga. And fed time. And I'll be reading these headlines. This is why I'll never be a prison abolition. I'll be reading these headlines, I'll be reading these headlines. I'm like, 7.5 years. Oh, you fucked up. Oh, you fucked up. Bye. Goodbye. Enjoy that prison food. Goodbye. Go. Get out of here. No forgiveness for you. Okay. Oh God. I don't know. Whew. It's better than sex. It's honestly better than sex. Karen, Western Pennsylvania may not be geographically the South, but trust me, it's very much the South in spirit. As the old joke goes, Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh on one end, Philly on the other, and everything else is Mississippi. In fairness to the black lady who went to that racist ass Aviation Inn, I think we need to remember that a lot of these rural sundown towns have very few dining options. Maybe the only alternative she had was an Arby's across the street. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Finally, can we all just take a moment to be thankful for Janelle Monáe's generosity? She's definitely taking things to a new and much appreciated level now that she's starting to give us some foreshadowing back in 2018. As witnessed in this video, Make Me Feel, already queued up in for a good example here is in. Put a link to it. Not topless per se, but definitely getting some things off her chest, so to speak. Though you'll probably get distracted by the cheeks. Anyway, she awesome. There's so many ways. I'm here for it. Cheers. Stay safe, John. Yeah, listen. She's always thought she was beautiful. I don't think that's like some thing I need to like. There's no pat on the back for that. I really wonder what kind of fucking person wouldn't have thought she was beautiful. And she just chose to like wear that suit thing. That was her thing. But then she would do acting roles, and I'd be like, that's just a pristinely beautiful woman. Like it just is what it is. I don't know what it was that made her like lean into this era of like redefining herself as like pleasurable and stuff, but she's been talking about her sexuality for a long time. She's been talking about shit for a minute, but yeah, she ain't been walking around naked like this. This feels like when Erykah Badu did Window Seat, and it was like, oh my god, finally, you know. So welcome to the party, pal. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you guys throughout the week. Like I said, probably have only a few episodes for a minute because I'm still resting. I'm still enjoying this. And I'm liking this relaxed schedule. And I'm working on this project.
Yeah, I'm already working on a project. Yeah.
But that's not just it though. If I wasn't working on that project, I would still be taking this time off.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the time off.
Because the past,
and it's giving people a chance to catch up on old episodes. So go back and listen to us as babies talking about shit we had no idea about. All right, listen to us be rageful and caught up in the Matrix and all that stuff. Listen to us, you know, like listen to us come into where we are now in our era of pleasure. Okay. I had my titties out yesterday too, just like Janelle Monáe. All right. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. We talk to y'all throughout the week. Until next time.